Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs winning. Press conferences. Covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Spurs in the Media, where I'll be going through all of today's newspapers, looking at all of today's articles from today's national press, also looking at the player ratings as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's start with a report from today's Daily Express. On the back page it says madness and mayhem. Spurs have 2 sent off, but Postecoglou refuses to join rush to slam refs. And Postecoglou blamed his fellow managers for the game's descent into VAR farce after 9-man Tottenham's chaotic defeat by Chelsea. Misfiring Blue striker Nicholas Jackson scored a much-needed hat-trick on a night head coach Postecoglou saw Christian Romero and Destiny Udogie sent off. Now, the Daily Express have published some quotes from Postecoglou's press conference where he was talking about VAR after the game, and he said it's self-inflicted because we all complain about decisions every week. Premier League managers should just stick to managing their clubs. I will never have a discussion with a referee about a rule. I was brought up to be afraid of referees. They were like policemen. I tell you, if you get a room of football managers, they will be looking at ways to bend the rules. If you look at all of that standing around we did today, maybe people enjoy that sort of thing, but I'd rather see us playing football. Postecoglou then went on to say, I don't like it because I'm probably in the wilderness with that. I keep getting told that's where we want to go. I'm too old school. I'll respect the referee's decision, right or wrong, but it is the way the game is going. Mauricio Pochettino after the game said we ran into spaces at the wrong time and were disappointed at half-time for not exposing the space Tottenham gave us. We didn't find the right moment to kill the game because the line of defence was too high. The most important thing is the 3 points. There's also a double-page spread from the Daily Express today, and the main heading states, Poch in a wild blue wonder. Mauricio Pochettino admitted before his Tottenham return that it would take time to build the same Chelsea memories as the ones he still shares with the Spurs fans. So, of course, Ange Postecoglou made one change to the team that beat Crystal Palace. Brennan Johnson in for Richarlison, who dropped to the bench. Now, the player ratings from the Daily Express today, they have given Vicario an 8 out of 10, Pedro Porro a 7, Romero 6, Van der Ven a 6, Udogie a 5, Sarr a 6, Basuma, Kulusevski both with 7s, Maddison a 6, Johnson and Son both with 7s. Now, the 5 subs that Postecoglou used, Dyer a 7, Emerson a 7, Højbjerg a 7, Skip and Bentancur both with 6s. Now, the match stats, possession, Tottenham Hotspur had 39% to Chelsea's 61. Shots on target, Spurs had 5 to Chelsea's 8. Shots off target, Spurs had 1 to Chelsea's 7. Block shots, Spurs 2, Chelsea 2. Corners, Spurs only had 1 to Chelsea's 6. Fouls, Spurs 12, Chelsea 21. Yellow cards, Tottenham 2, Chelsea 5. And red cards, of course, 2 for Spurs, Romero and Udogie. Now for a report from the Times newspaper, and on the back page here it's got this picture of Michael Oliver, the referee, giving Christian Romero a red card, and it says Spurs unravel on night of VAR drama. Jackson takes advantage of Udogie and Romero reds to score hat-trick. In this report from the Times, it states that Spurs lost their heads and their unbeaten start at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as 2 red cards gifted Chelsea a 4-1 victory on a wild return for Mauricio Pochettino to his former club. Christian Romero and Destiny Udogie were both sent off, and Chelsea eventually made them pay as Nicholas Jackson scored a hat-trick after Cole Palmer equalised with a penalty. Now, of course, the game had so many incidents. There is a lot to get through in these newspapers today. There is a double-page spread from the Times newspaper, and it states Jackson's hat-trick gives Pochettino happy return. It then states here stats from an incredible game: 5 disallowed goals, 9 VAR checks, 111. The game lasted 111 minutes, 19 seconds, and then 4. Since his debut season in 2021-2022, Tottenham's Christian Romero has picked up more red cards, which is 4, than any other player for a Premier League team in the competition. The Times newspaper state where to start with a game that felt it might never finish. Stockley Park, probably. This was an exhilarating match shaped and stretched by the VAR forensics, who made check after check and went so far back, looking at one move, that if they had gone any further, Mauricio Pochettino would still be manager here. It then states that Pochettino returned to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Of course, he managed Spurs for 293 games. He received a mixed reception, some applause and also plenty of boos when he neatly controlled a loose ball and flicked it to Reece James. Now, also, by the Times newspaper, Peter Wharton, the former Premier League referee, has given his verdict on the VAR decisions. On the Destiny Udogie red card, he said, "I thought Destiny Udogie was lucky to stay on the pitch, and the referee, Michael Oliver, laid down his threshold by only showing the Tottenham Hotspur defender a yellow card. I would have sent him off." But I think there was communication between Oliver and the VAR, John Brooks. The VAR was right to leave it to the referee. Now for the player ratings from the Times newspaper today, they've given goalkeeper Vicario an 8 out of 10, who I thought was absolutely fantastic. He's been an unbelievable signing for us. Pedro Porro a 4, Romero a 3 out of 10, Mickey van der Ven a 6, Sub Højbjerg a 7, Destiny Udogie a 4, Sarr a 7, Sub Bentancur a 6, Basuma a 6, Maddison a 6, Sub Royale a 6, Kulusevski a 7, Sub Skip a 6, Heung-min Son a 6, Brennan Johnson a 5, which is surprising. I thought he was very lively during his time on the pitch. It was a shame that he had to come off in the 34th minute for Eric Dyer, who received a 7 out of 10. Now for a report from the Daily Mail today, and on the back page it says Carnage. Blues win epic after 9 VAR calls, 5 goals ruled out and 2 reds. Nicholas Jackson hit a second-half hat-trick to seal a 4-1 victory over 9-man Tottenham in a breathless, incident-filled game. Now, the Daily Mail have also published a double-page spread on the game, and Mark Clattenburg, of course, former Premier League referee, has given his verdict on the VAR decisions. I tell you what, if we had VAR at the Battle of the Bridge at Stamford Bridge some years ago, that would have been interesting. But Clattenburg's verdict on the night of chaos and controversy in London, he has said that the Udogie first challenge, where he received a yellow card, that was wrong. It should have been a red. All of the other decisions, he has said that the referee, Mike Oliver, got right. Now, the player ratings from the Mail today. Vicario a 7.5, Pedro Porro a 7.5, Romero a 4.5, Van der Ven a 6, Højbjerg Sub 6.5, Udogie a 6, Sarr a 7, Sub Bentancur a 6.5, Basuma a 7.5, Kulusevski a 6.5, Sub Skip a 6.5, Maddison a 6.5, Sub Royale a 6.5, Johnson only a 5.5, Sub Dyer 7, and Heung-min Son a 6. Now for a report from the Daily Telegraph, and on the front of the sports supplement it says here, Chelsea demolition derby joy, but Postecoglou says referees are no longer in control after crazy game. A double-page spread from the Daily Telegraph today, and it states here, Spurs fans standing ovation sums up night of utter madness. And I've got to say, the Spurs fans at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Monday against Chelsea were absolutely unreal. It didn't matter what the scoreline was. The Spurs fans just did not stop singing, and the amount of fans that actually stayed behind after the final whistle to sing and show their appreciation for the effort that every single player put in during that time against Chelsea. In the report from the Daily Telegraph today, it states here, in the future, when the story of the season is told in one of those Premier League years documentaries, this game will already have gone down in legend. After the Battle of the Bridge in 2016, this was the tear-up at Tottenham, and while it ended in an apparently crushing 4-1 victory for Chelsea, that really does not go close to explaining what happened. Not remotely close. Spurs had 2 players rightly sent off. They ended the game with only 4 of their starting 11 still on the pitch. There were 5 disallowed goals, 8 VAR checks, 21 minutes of added time all in, 6 yellow cards, including 1 for Spurs manager Ange Postecoglou, and yet that still does not tell the story. Now, the Daily Telegraph have actually published a timeline of chaos, the major flashpoints in a wild top-flight match. In the 6th minute, Dejan Kulusevski started the night of drama with an early strike that deflected off Cole Will to give Tottenham the lead. In the 14th minute, Heung-min Son thought he had put Tottenham 2-0 up after clinically dispatching past Sanchez, but replays showed he was marginally offside. In the 19th minute, Destiny Udogie was lucky to avoid a sending off when his two-footed lunge on Sterling survived a VAR check after he was only booked. In the 22nd minute, Sterling had the ball in the net, but his celebrations were cut short when VAR ruled correctly that he had handled the ball in the build-up. In the 28th minute, Caicedo smashed in from range, but replay showed that Jackson was offside and obscuring Vicario's view. In the 33rd minute, Romero was then sent off after a pitch-side monitor check for the high foul on Fernandes. The penalty was given and Cole Palmer converted just via the post. In the 55th minute, into the second half, Udogie finally saw a red card after picking up a second booking for the lunge on Sterling. In the 75th minute, Jackson, who had a goal disallowed in the first half for Sterling being offside, put Chelsea in the lead for the first time. In the 78th minute, Eric Dyer volleyed in to spark delirium among the home fans, but celebrations were cut short when a VAR check showed he was offside, the 5th disallowed goal. And then in the 94th minute, Jackson put the result beyond doubt with his second goal, and then 3 minutes later completed his hat-trick. The player ratings from the Daily Telegraph today, Vicario, they have given a 9 out of 10. I completely agree with that rating. At least a 9 for Vicario. If it wasn't for him, it could have been a whole lot worse. Especially that high line that we were playing. Because they were very, very reliant on Vicario coming out, dealing with every single ball over the top or through ball. Pedro Porro an 8. Romero, they've given a 3 out of 10. Van der Ven a 6. Udogie a 5, Basuma a 7, Sarr a 6, Kulusevski a 6, Maddison a 6, Johnson a 6, Sarr a 7. Now for a report from the Guardian newspaper, and on the back page it says King of Chaos, Jackson's hat-trick sees off 9-man Spurs in wild derby. Also, a double-page spread in today's Guardian newspaper, and it says here, Pochettino seizes spoils in demolition derby as Spurs suffer horror night. On the back of the Daily Mirror today, it says, Wacko Jacko, Andrews VAR warning after Jackson hat-trick sinks 9-man Spurs, who lose their heads an unbeaten start in a crazy match that saw red and yellow cards, 5 disallowed goals, injuries and bust-ups. The Daily Mirror have also published a double-page spread about the game, and it states, Blues nick a classic, Jackson bags late hat-trick to sink 9-man Spurs in crazy capital derby. It was a capital classic of utter chaos and carnage. Player ratings from the Daily Mirror today have given Vicario a 7, Porro a 6, Van der Ven a 6, Romero a 4, Udogie a 5, Basuma and Sarr both with 6s, Johnson with a 5, Maddison, Kulusevski and Son all with 6s. Subs, Dyer a 6, Højbjerg a 7, and Royale, Bentancur and Skip all with 6s. They have given man of the match to Jackson and have stated made the most of the Spurs carnage with a hat-trick late on. Now for a report from the Sun newspaper, and on the back page it says here, Nicholas Jackson fired a hat-trick to give Mauricio Pochettino a winning return to Tottenham on a night of VAR carnage. The main heading states here, Varnage. Jackson hits 3 on Mad Night with 9 vid ref calls, 5 goals ruled out, 2 Spurs Reds and 2 huge injuries. Now for a double-page spread, it says here, Screen Smasher. It's a TV thriller, but fans in the stadium in the dark on Wild Night. It was difficult to know who to feel the most sorry for after this night of utter lunacy. The Sun have also published some stats from the game. Passes, Spurs had 313 to Chelsea's 499. Touches in the opposition box, Spurs had 27 to Chelsea's 39. The attendance was 61,726. And the ball was in play for just 47 minutes, 29 seconds. Now some more stats from the Sun newspaper. Chelsea won at Spurs for the 15th time, the joint most of any visitors, equaling Manchester City's tally. Tottenham had 2 men sent off for just the 4th time in Premier League history and the 1st time at home. And Postecoglou lost a home game for the 1st time in England or Scotland in his 43rd such fixture. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Have a good week. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, come on you Spurs.